So welcome everyone. Thank you again for being here today. My name is Stacey Parker and I'm with the UC Davis Arboretum and Public Garden. My talk today is aimed at those starting new programs in particular, but also I'm hoping that established programs will also be able to glean some new insights or ideas as well. I'm going to share how accessing the power of collaboration has resulted in a campus-wide Nature RX initiative at UC Davis called Healthy Outside. So before I get into the details of the Healthy Outside initiative, I'd like to start with a quote we often use at the Arboretum and Public Garden and is also the basis for my talk today. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, by Arthur Ashe. This has been incredibly helpful for us when we are first starting out with a new program or project, and I will walk you through what this meant for us specifically in terms of developing our Nature RX program, and in particular, the campus-wide Healthy Outside initiative. What I will say is that for those of you looking to start a new Nature RX program at your school from scratch, the good news is that you may already have one. You just haven't been calling it that. So start where you are. For the Arboretum and Public Garden, starting where we were in terms of launching a Nature RX program meant looking around to see where we were on the road in achieving that aim. So the great part about this step is that we found, and I suspect many of you will find too, is that we had already traveled pretty far down that road in our Nature RX journey without even knowing it. In other words, looking around, the Arboretum and Public Garden already has an incredible volunteer program, an incredible student internship program called Learning by Leading, which some of you may have heard of or even have started Learning by Leading programs of your own. And we also have public programs, outreach events, and garden collections and interpretation, all designed to connect people to plants and nature in one way or another. So taking stock is pretty fun because it allows for you to see all that you have already at your disposal, including staff as resources in that aim as well. So it turns out that we already had a pretty robust Nature RX program to start. Like I said, we just weren't calling it that. So that was a fun discovery, and I suspect likewise will be the same for many of you. So the next step is to use what you have. And we at the university are lucky enough to have the brain trust of the university at our fingertips. So as you can see, there are many, many logos here for UC Davis administrative and academic departments, all of which here are those that we have been able to partner with. And one of the exciting aspects of working with the university is that there are experts in their fields around every corner. So whether it's bird experts, fish biologists, experts in plant and insect interactions, professional photographers or communications and marketing professionals, experts in sustainable agriculture, or our campus planners, sustainability experts, our grounds and landscape managers, including campus arborists, experts in public health and meditation. So the university is basically a small city of people who make the place run. So drawing on those with the expertise to do that, or those that are here teaching and conducting research in more specialized fields, such as earth sciences, Native American studies, animal sciences, etc. There's just no shortage of opportunity for partnership. And one of the major perks for us, of course, is that we don't have to pay them. And that was mentioned a little bit earlier when somebody was asking about funding, is that because we don't have to pay them, we don't have to fundraise in order to host these programs. Many, if not most of these experts have a component of their jobs that requires some degree of public service or outreach. So the other point that I also want to make is that when you're asking people to participate in sharing what they're most passionate about, it tends to result in a pretty compelling program and a feeling that you've had a behind the scenes look into their field. And I also want to point out a resource here called Healthy UC Davis. And we're pretty lucky to have that at UC Davis. So arguably the Healthy Outside initiative may never have come to be had we not had that group. So Healthy UC Davis is an interdisciplinary group composed of staff, faculty, and students dedicated to making UC Davis the healthiest place to work, learn, and live. And the steering committee of this group is the engine for collaboration within the realm of health and well-being on our campus. So without this group of people, it would have been much harder to accomplish. And I know that some other institutions also have similar steering committees. I know that there's one at Cornell, for instance. So my advice, like as such, is to find or build a similar group at your own institutions to do the same. Many of you may already have bodies already designed for this, such as mental health task forces. I advise you to insert yourself. We're as gardens, so we're a public garden. If you're a public garden program too, you may not seem like the obvious choice, but with Nature RX, we really broaden the conversation around mental health and well-being and leverage the outdoors of the campus as a resource. So once you've gathered an idea of what you're going to have to use for building out your Nature RX program in terms of identifying collaborative partners, the next step is to do what you can. So in setting out to create the Healthy Outside initiative, we realized that first we needed a web page. We started by creating a web page on the Healthy UC Davis website, including gathering and organizing Healthy Outside resources from all of our campus partners. And then we lumped them into 3 categories that you'll see here: move outside, restore outside, and grow outside. We created a Healthy Outside resource map and also a Healthy Outside calendar. So events that fell into the category of Healthy Outside could be highlighted on our page. And once those resources were all in place, then we needed a way to promote the initiative, so which led us to creating a campaign. And we're on a quarter system here at UC Davis, so we chose spring quarter to hold our campaign. And quarters are 10 weeks long, so that's how long our campaign was. And we realized that in order to get people to participate, we need some kind of incentive. So we started drawing on all of our partners in Healthy UC Davis to chip in any swag that they had related to being healthy outside. So you can see our swag bag on here. And then also, once again, these are all the specific campus partners that we drew upon for this campaign. The swag bag had a lot of goodies such as water bottle slings, and an Arboretum and Public Garden tote bag, a reusable straw, a picnic blanket, a cutting board. There were lots of really wonderful things. So that was really exciting because, once again, this was just about reaching out and seeing who could donate 10 of these items, basically for the duration of our campaign. And so no money, once again, all donated. So then the next thing that we had to do was to determine what people had to do in order to be entered into a drawing for the prizes. This meant coming up with rules, a structure, how we would manage it, etc., for how it would all work, and then creating a page to publish all of this information along with the supplemental publicity materials. So we decided to have people share photos of themselves doing something healthy outside and answering a couple of questions. So they could do this through a Google form, or they could also do it through social media on Instagram. And the questions that they answered were how to stay healthy outside, what they do to stay healthy outside themselves, and then also why they think it's important to be healthy outside. And then we called these testimonials. And submitting one of these actually was basically your raffle ticket for being entered into the drawing. So then the testimonials started pouring in, and we were quite happy with the results. We had maybe over 350 throughout the campaign. We also had a colleague in our communications unit, so talk about collaboration, that kept adding them to the webpage as the weeks went by, and also highlighting the winner's entry. We also specifically reached out to our campus leadership, as you will see pictured here in the middle. And we have their answers posted. I wanted to get more photos in so you could see more of the photos. So you don't see the answers for these other folks, but you can see like a little sampling of the submissions with these photos. So it's really sweet and very touching how many people participated. And there was no limit to how many times that you could enter. Okay, so I also wanted to mention that while we were working on this larger steering committee, actually it was a small team of the larger steering committee members of the Healthy UC Davis on this larger campaign. I was also directing our programs at the Arboretum and Public Garden to be aligning up into delivering on this effort of Healthy Outside. So you'll actually see from this slide several photos of partnerships that the Arboretum and Public Garden had with classes and student artists in our art department and our design department. So once again, the power of collaboration allowed for us to host these wonderful student works of art in the Arboretum at a time when our staff were at capacity, basically trying to rebuild from the impacts of COVID. And these collaborations are incredibly positive for all parties involved. Obviously, our visitors loved them. And with minimal effort, primarily coordination, logistics, and support on our part, we were able to host these interesting and exciting art installations in the Arboretum to attract people to be healthy outside. And the students loved having the venue of the Arboretum to display their art and all of the interaction and attention that their works were able to enjoy from the location. For this last slide, I also wanted to point out the few but very lightweight interventions that we did do as programs, the first of which was called Chair Share, that's in the bottom left. And Haven and I actually learned of chair bombing at a past symposium and immediately said that we wanted to do it ourselves, but our strategic communications department on campus didn't like the term chair bombing. So it was named, the program was named Chair Share, which has stuck and it really works. People love it. It couldn't be easier. And the results from our surveys indicate that people chose to spend more time in nature that day because of them. And I also have pictured here a couple of events that were billed as Nature RX events as part of the Healthy Outside campaign. And those were a planting event, a weeding therapy session, and these were a great opportunity for us to get much needed work done in the garden while also affording others the opportunity to connect with campus nature. So start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And with the power of collaboration, you're bound to be successful. Thank you so much.